Hey, what's going on, guys? Ager and John here, and today we're going to be going over the brand new Stasis Trace Rifle in Season of the Lost, Ager Scepter. But before we jump into it, I also want to keep up to date on all Destiny 2 news, information, links, tutorials, and more. There you go, subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, let's jump into it. So I guess before we actually break down the weapon, let's go ahead and talk about how to get it. I have a timestamp on screen right now if you want to skip past this part. There's essentially 4 different quests with this, that being Tracing Stars 1 to 3, as well as I think it's called the Hollowed Coronation. I'm just gonna have the gameplay play out for the Atlas Skew locations here. Unfortunately, I did forget to record the first week here, so you're just gonna have to look at some pictures. Once you've collected all the Atlas Skews for that part, similar to the Tracing Stars quest, you'll have to go into an individual instance where you put the Skews down, and then Ultron Sod starts telling a story, and then Marasov speaks at the end. But this time, since this is the 4th and final one, you walk through the portal that lights up in the center. And when you get there, you could claim Ager's Scepter! Except, psych, you gotta go do some more stuff before you can claim Ager's Scepter. Make sure you talk to Marasov to activate the next step, which requires you to get Parallax Trajectory, as well as rifle kills. That's right, any type of rifle. It could be assault rifle, fusion rifle, scout rifle, sniper rifle, trace rifle. It could be any type of rifle. You just need to get rifle kills in the astral alignment activity. If you get lucky and your team ends up doing none of the objectives like most of the blueberries end up doing on your average astral alignment run, you should be able to roughly get the kills part done in 2 astral alignments, maybe 3 if you don't get lucky with the objectives. Once you have completed that step, congratulations, you have earned the prize of having to do more astral alignment. This time, you gotta defeat 18 champions and kill 20 enemies with your super. This should roughly take 2 to 3 astral alignment completions. Once you completed that step, praise hallelujah because you don't have to do any more astral alignment. Now, you just need to do the Lake of Shadows strike, the Disgrace strike, and the Glassway strike. Nothing special about them, you just gotta complete the strike and pick up the drop from the final chest. Literally nothing different about them. Just select them in the director on the planet they're on and just complete the strike. Once you're done with that, go talk to Marasov. And then once you're done talking to Marasov, you'll have to play a Hollowed Coronation mission. When you're in there, you'll pick up your Ager Scepter, and then you'll have to destroy a bunch of sparkly rocks to get to a boss fight room. There'll be a bunch of ads in the boss. Yeah, if you read last week's lore, you know that the actual boss in this area, Kelgaroth, apparently has Segura's ghost shell, which is interesting. You never hear or talk about it, you just read about him in last week's weekly lore book. But yeah, once you kill Kelgaroth, you have to go talk to Marasov again, and a cutscene will play. And congratulations, you are done with Ager Scepter for now. In terms of the catalyst, it states that it's supposed to drop from astral alignment completions, but currently nobody has been able to get one, so it appears to be bugged and or worded incorrectly. People are theorizing that it may not be bugged and it just may be worded wrong. It'll drop from the legendary version of astral alignment when that drops in October, maybe? Before I talk about what I think the catalyst might do based off of leaks/data mines. Let's go and talk about the weapon itself, Ager's Scepter. Its main perk is called Ager's Call. Final blows with this weapon generate a slow burst around the defeated targets, and if you're wondering, that slow burst actually instantly freezes all enemies it touches. Seems to have like a dragonfly type effect, where you just get a standard kill with this. Doesn't matter if it's a headshot or a body shot, and it causes a mini stasis explosion that freezes everything. Also, that's not all for Ager Scepter. It also has a secondary exotic perk, that being Riga's Refrain. States that stasis final blows transfer ammo to this weapon's magazine from reserves. So in a way, it's pretty much a stasis primary version of Prometheus Lens. But the best part about it, since it's stasis and it encases enemies in stasis, it also will proc your aspects and fragments. If you haven't noticed already, as you can see in the gameplay, at least from my warlock here, freezing enemies with Ager Scepter and then continuing to shatter those enemies with Ager Scepter does end up activating the Ice Flare Bolts aspect, which opens up a lot of build potential for this weapon. At least on the PvE side of things, I find this weapon very fun to use. However, it's hard for me to justify using it in like harder stuff like Master Vault of Glass or Grandmaster Nightfalls because A, it simply just doesn't have any sort of champion stun, and B, because it's a trace rifle, it shoots marshmallows at the enemy, and unfortunately, in order to get the main exotic perk going, you need to kill enemies, and that's a little difficult to do when you're shooting marshmallows. In PvP, maybe the super niche trace rifle users will enjoy this weapon. I could see it potentially being very good. However, from the very brief PvP usage I had with it, it just didn't seem like it did much to even compete with some of the meta stuff at the moment, or let alone other trace rifles. Overall, I think it's a pretty fun weapon to use, but I don't think it currently at the moment has the potential to rear its head into more serious content. Like I mentioned earlier, the catalyst seems to be bugged or labeled incorrectly at the moment, so I have no idea what it does, but according to leakers and data miners, they state that it will make it so it drains super energy, overflowing the magazine and empowering the beam with bonus damage, and the ability to slow and freeze targets until the magazine or super energy runs out, or the weapon is stowed. Can only be activated when super energy is full. If that is the case, I think it could definitely buff the weapon to the potential it needs to be, considering it states that it will take super energy for a damage buff. That makes me think the damage buff is going to be a very big damage buff, but we'll have to wait and see on that. That pretty much wraps it up my thoughts on the weapon. This was Ace Trainer John. If you found this helpful, go ahead and give a like. If you want to keep up to date on this kind of stuff, go ahead and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on Ager Scepter in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.